Take one.
All right. So, g'day everyone. It's Russell here, and I'm here with Tony Hsieh. And for anyone who may not know who Tony is, Tony, you've done some pretty cool things so far in your business life. A couple of things include having started a company, sold it for about 250-60 million or so at the age of 24. You then got in and created a company called Zappos and ran it, and recently sold that to Amazon. And also published a book called Delivering Happiness, as now considered an expert on the field of happiness. And I've been graciously invited to come and look at a new project that you've been working on in downtown Las Vegas, which is where we are right now. And a little bit more on that later. But I wanted to ask you a really burning question. You mentioned that the giraffe over there is one of the best Christmas presents you've ever received. Why?
Well, we should bring... Ava, do you want to bring the giraffe over? I think it's just because... Well, you'll see it. It's not your typical... Let's see, it's bigger than Ava. So...
Yeah. Thanks, Ava.
You're welcome.
I don't even know how... I think we were just having a random conversation with the person who gave it to me, and somehow the topic of giraffes came up, and then yesterday I went downstairs and there was this big giraffe as a gift, and I think it's just because it's funny. It was when you guys came in, it was in the hallway greeting you, and I think the reason why I love it is because it's right at that very tough balance between cute and creepy. It's not too cute and it's not too creepy. It's like creepy.
The defining moment. And are there any parallels with running a company?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in some ways, I actually sent out a thing on Twitter a couple years ago where I asked if Zappos were an animal, what would it be? And got some responses were like, oh, a dolphin because the communication that you guys do. These are responses from customers, and some people said maybe a cheetah because the orders get delivered so quickly. But my favorite response was someone that said platypus because it looks like it shouldn't work, but it does.
Right.
So I don't know why I can't explain it, but it just makes me happy.
Great, fantastic. Well, I want to get on to happiness in a moment. One of the things I come across when I'm talking to CEOs and entrepreneurs around, why they should be looking at, investing more in their staff and in training and development and building a better culture is, Russell, look, that's all well and good, but just I've got all of my team out on clients, cutting code, they've got to meet their targets. I haven't got time to look at some of this soft, fluffy stuff like culture. What's your perspective on that?
I think, I have a couple of responses. One is, I think it was Albert Einstein that said not everything that matters can be counted, and not everything that counts can be measured. I'm totally messing up the quote, but but the point being that you need both, and business is all about being able to balance the short term, medium term, and long term, and the payoff for culture is usually, I think, 2 to 3 years down the line. So it's always easy to focus on the current quarter or even the current year, but if you don't continually invest in the culture, then I think you start feeling the pain 2 or 3 years down the line, and then by then, a lot of times it's too late, and then it'll take a while to get back to the original point.
Yeah. Okay.
And most companies, as they get bigger, the culture ends up going downhill, and that's when people start leaving the company, and you seen so many examples of companies that have changed from the early days, and then over time, all the great talent in the company ends up leaving.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you. What I want to move on now is in terms of happiness. You built Zappos into a company with such an amazing culture. As a result, wrote the book on delivering happiness. What is it you're working on now, and what is it that's making you happy about it?
Well, we announced about a year ago that Zappos was moving downtown and taking over Las Vegas City Hall. Turns out the city is building a new city hall, and we'll be moving into that. And originally it was thought of as just a campus relocation project, and we thought, oh, maybe we'll build a campus that'll be as good as or better than, say, Nike or Google or Apple, that have all these amazing campuses for employees. But as we started thinking about it more, we realized that those campuses may be great for employees, but they're actually very insular and don't really contribute to or integrate with the community around them. And so we decided that rather than take that approach, to actually do something that's more analogous to NYU's campus, where the campus kind of blends in with the city and don't really know where one begins and the other ends. And so what started out as a campus relocation project has evolved into a project to help revitalize downtown Vegas and make it a place where not only will you have everything you need to live, work, play within walking distance, but one of the goals is actually to make it the most community-focused large city in the world.
Yeah.
And so there's actually a website. If you go to downtownproject.com, you can see some of the stuff that we're working on. But it's about building all the things that you would want in terms of a neighborhood, anything from a doggy daycare to a cupcake bakery to restaurants and bars and so on, and then having all of this happen within a couple of blocks of the Zappos campus, and then also building residential and basically just thinking of the city as a startup. Yeah,
and it's interesting because we were having the chat earlier about people asking you, well, you've built a great company, what's next? You've written a book on happiness, what's next? What stops you from just going off and, retiring happily and going to the Bahamas and just checking out for a while?
Because I think, a lot of people think doing something like that might make them happy, and maybe it will in the short term, but one of the things that's come out of the research in the science of happiness is that much more longer lasting and important are things like the number and depth of your relationships, for example. So how connected you are, and so that kind of goes back to community. And I'm living here downtown now, and so from the selfish perspective, it's really about helping create the place that I'm going to live in, and just making myself happier as well. And so it's exciting on a lot of different levels, because it's helping to create the place I'm going to live in, and it's also helping Zappos by really investing in the ecosystem, in the community, which will ultimately end up benefiting Zappos by helping attract and retain talent, and then it's also helping this community and the city. So it doesn't have to be either or; it's all of the above.
Yeah, fantastic. And Tony, look, I know we're running out of time, so I want to thank you so much. Firstly, for the opportunity to come down and take a look at, go over the project of downtown Las Vegas and revamping it. I'm inspired to see how I can help in any way, and I want to thank you for inviting us into your home.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and to everyone else, have a fantastic Christmas.
Okay, bye.
Bye.